Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have the next tasting of my small batch Rye IPA 1. Now I did do a brew day, just a brew day video for this, for what is in it, but we'll go over it real quick. This is a small gallon batch, 1.25 gallons, going into the fermenter. 2 pounds, 1 ounce of pale malt, or you can use 2-row. I did use 2-row in this. 5.5 ounces of caramel malt, 5.5 ounces of rye malt, 3.7 ounces of flaked rye. 1 hour boil. For the boil, 0.28 ounces of Centennial at 60, 0.28 ounces of Centennial at 5, 0.28 ounces of Chinook at 5. For the dry hop, this is using 0.24 ounces of Centennial, 0.12 ounces of Chinook, then 0.12 ounces of Amarillo. That is 3 days into fermentation. I let my beers ferment for 10 days, so that would mean dry hop for 7 days. US 05 yeast is what I use. Let me just make sure. You don't even see it on here. Oh, there we go. Yep. US 05 yeast. So this was bottled on 410, 8.64% ABV. Let's go ahead and get it open, get it into a glass, and see what we think. Nice hiss, good smoke coming out of that. Like I said, this is the second review. In the first review, I don't know why, I like using Chinook. Most of the time I do not get a spicy note from Chinook. But in the first tasting, if I remember correctly, I thought it did play well with that rye malt. That rye is going to give you some spice. Also the flaked rye. I believe I've been testing some. I used that flaked rye in something to test it. I can't remember now. But anyway, back to this beer. Head is going away pretty quick. Not sure why. What I do have is white, not even a quarter finger of head. Color, caramel in color, almost like a burnt orange color. Some haziness in there. I can see the bubbles. I can make the light box. I cannot see the bell sign at all. Let's go ahead and smell, see what we get. I am getting a little bit of that rye, that spiciness coming out of there, but I think for the most part I'm getting that Centennial. It's almost like a grapefruit citrus coming through. It smells like there's some sweetness, almost. This is technically a double rye IPA, but that sweetness does match up, and that's why I was thinking double rye IPA. That sweetness level and some of that malt that I'm getting does smell like a double IPA. You're going to extract more sugar, and depending on how much you extract and leave in the beer, you're going to get a little bit more sweetness from that if the yeast don't conk out or eat it all, depending on what it does. But yeah, there is some spiciness in there. I can't tell you if it's from the rye malt or the flaked rye, or it's from the Chinook. My guess is it is from the malts that we use that's giving that. But that's like up front, but then I get that grapefruit citrus followed by that sweet malt that you would get in a double IPA. Let's go ahead and taste. A little sweet malt up front, mixed with some citrus, like generic citrus. Lots of bitterness. I think the bitterness has went up, but I also think that rye has went up. So that rye bitterness in the back is really staying strong. Aftertaste, it's more of a sweet citrus, but that bitterness, spiciness does last and hang on. For the big taste that I'm getting, to me it seems like the body's a little thin. It's pushing medium, but it just, something in my head saying it's a thinner body than the bold flavors that you're getting. I'm definitely picking up more sweetness than I thought I would. Now this beer is almost 3 months old. So maybe that care malt is making it age a little bit more. In one of the videos I talked about Bumpy Road and I were talking about crystal malts aging beers faster. I'm not saying that's the case, but it almost tastes like those malts are older. That's why I'm getting more sweetness, because it almost tastes like the yeast didn't finish and there's more sweetness in here than intended, but the body is thinner than I think it should be, if that makes any sense. I can't really say if I'm getting any Amarillo from the dry hop out of this. I think that bitterness and that spice is really covering it up. I could see the Centennial in here, Chinook, citrus, yeah, sure. Would I be able to pick them out if I didn't know they were in here? Probably not. From the smell, a little bit of that grapefruit citrus, maybe, but I can't say yes or no. Obviously, when I smelt it, I said, okay, that's the Centennial, because that's what I get from Centennial. Grapefruit citrus, grapefruit rind, something like that, and that's what you're getting out of this. But, yeah, something I would drink. Would I drink it in the summer? Probably. Would I make it again? Yes. I think it tastes fine. For some people that don't like bitterness, it might be a little too much for them, but I think it's almost like a perceived higher bitterness because of that spice and that bitterness. As I'm talking, it's like more spice than it is bitterness. Like it just keeps building a little. So Beersmith wanted this at 6.4. So we're a couple points over, and for the IBUs, it's at 62.6. I would say that's right. I mean, my guess is I would probably say it's over 70 if I didn't know that. But again, I think that rye spice and that bitterness from all the hops is making the perceived bitterness more. So, but yeah, overall a good beer. Let me know if you've made any beers with rye in them. Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, check some more homebrew videos out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.